In this video, I'm going to talk about the personality traits of the wood element type. Sit tight. Welcome back to another video. My name is Jen Palco. I help people reinvent their reality. I'm also the author of the new book, 12-Step Guide for the Self-Help Book Addict. Today, I'm going to get into element types, and we're going to talk about the wood element today, primarily. So, if you're not familiar with the 5 elements, I talk about them a lot, but it's from the ancient system of ancient Taoism, Chinese traditions, goes back thousands and thousands of years. And if you've ever heard of the yin-yang principle, the 5 elements goes one step further, and it's basically our relationship to nature. So we have 5 elements, water, wood, fire, earth, metal. We have all 5 elements within us, within our personalities, but usually we have 1 or 2 that are more dominant in our lives. You could call it our imprint or the blueprint, what we're born with. And it tells us a lot about ourselves and our personality and our traits and how we respond and react to the world. Particularly if we're under stress, we may respond in certain ways according to which element type is most dominant, is the strongest within ourselves. So it's really interesting because it really taps into you getting to know yourself, determining which element type you may be, or which ones are most dominant in your life, so you can move through life easier, or you can discover why maybe certain things bother you or why they feel out of alignment to you. So we're going to talk about wood today. So wood is the element that is all about birth and growth. So in the cycle of the 5 elements, okay, you have water, wood, fire, earth, metal, all going around in a circle. They all help each other out, all generate each other. You can't have, they're all interdependent basically. So we have them all in our body working at all times. You can see the elements out in nature. That's what the ancient Chinese believed, that everything in nature works together and all these elements work together for wholeness, completeness, for balance. So, when one is more dominant, there are certain characteristics or traits associated with each element, and it can tell a lot about a person's personality and why they act the way they act. So if you have a strong wood element within you, or if that is like what you are born with, you have a strong blueprint of your wood element, it means that you are a very driven person. So if you think of a tree, okay? So wood, the season associated with wood is spring. So think of in spring, things sprout out. So think of a tree. So basically a wood element type is going to be a lot like a tree, but it's all about forward movement. They're very driven, but their body structure is going to appear like a tree. So most of the time they're tall, they have long limbs, but they can also be short, but have a lot of energy. So the energy behind a wood, so the ancient believes, every element has a particular energetic component to it. So the energetic component for wood is this push, is this drive. Okay, we're transitioning from the winter season to spring, which is wood. So you're going from water to wood. So what does that mean? That means things are sprouting out. The life force is coming out. It's about birth. It's about growth. Not only upward growth, but forward movement. So a wood person is all about moving forward. They're all about drive. They're all about ambition in life. They want to get things done. They are the go-getters of the world. They are very goal-oriented. Very goal-oriented, driven. Basically, the wood element person has goals in mind that they're working as hard as possible to achieve them. Now, the downside is if they don't feel like they are achieving their goals or progressing enough, or if something comes to block them, they get frustrated. They get angry either at others or themselves. So there are pros and cons to all of these elements, so it's very important to discover what your certain traits are so you can better respond to the world. So a wood person, they are, like I said, they're the go-getters of the world. They also love competition. They love a good debate. Sometimes they can come across as pushy to other people, but they're not necessarily angry. It may come across as that, but it's just they love debating. They love that energy. They have a lot of stamina behind them. So usually wood people are, they love the outdoors, they're very active. Their body type, they usually have like these tight muscles. So, you know, associated with wood element is the liver, gallbladder, but also like the tendons, the ligaments. So wood people may be prone to things like tendon and ligament tears in their body because of this tightness. You'll see the tightness on their body. They can put on muscle, they can get cut really easily basically. Or the jawline, they have very strong jaws. The skin is very like taut. Even the neck is very taut. So that is basically the appearance of a wood person, okay? Tall, long limbs, skinny usually, and like very cut. They don't have a lot of body fat usually, and it's because it's this push, this forward movement. Wood people do not like to rest and recharge. That's more the water, okay? Wood people like to keep going, like to keep doing, and the only thing that slows them down usually is an injury or their body just shuts down on them. They get adrenal fatigue or something, just completely wipes them out where they can't keep moving forward. Because in the wood's mind, they have to go, they have to go, they have to get to their goal, right? Forward motion. So, you know, wood people are very time-oriented and structured. They love systems. They're very logical, practical, but they're very much in their linear head. Again, because it's forward motion, okay? But on the other hand, they can have a tendency to get stuck in the past too. So they can hold on to things, hold on to old baggage and tell themselves, oh, I should have done that, I should have done this, blah, blah, blah. So they can hold grudges or resentment sometimes if they're not careful. But in general, the wood is really, really intense energy. They're very direct when they speak to you. You know, somebody who does not have wood as like their primary, like a really strong primary element, they may get intimidated by the wood energy because it's so direct, because it's so intense. You know, usually wood people, you're not going to see them slouching around and walking slow. They're going to be very upright, kind of like if you've seen military people, they're going to, like a tree, very upright, stiff. They're going to have a very direct walk when they walk. You know, what frustrates wood the most, like I said, is not being able to keep up with their momentum, not being able to achieve. A lot of wood element types feel the need to prove themselves to others. So a lot of them can be about status, can be about material status, things like that. And they want to have other people know about that. So it's like they want the respect from other people. So they want to prove a point. So what drives the wood element is usually anger, okay, and fear. So where fear could make another element type immobilized or frozen in fear, right? It fuels up this wood energy. It fuels it up and gives it the drive to keep going, okay? Again, competition, drive, ambition. You'll see the wood element primarily in like businesses. They're usually the boss. They like to be in charge. They don't like to be pushed around. They don't like other people to tell them what to do. It can cause them to fight back. So they have this fight within them. Again, very strong energy. Wood people have a lot of stamina and can keep going, and oftentimes they become frustrated when other people can't keep up because the wood element person feels like others should be able to keep up with them, even though other element types can't keep up with them. But they become frustrated at that because, again, they want to control. You know, in our society, there is a push to be very woody. Okay, the wood element is very, very accepted in society because it's this yang energy, it's this intense, forceful energy. It gets stuff done. So you'll see it a lot of like change makers in society. Right? People like Martin Luther King or like lawyers have strong wood energy. They need to have that energy, that stamina, that push. You're not going to have somebody timid, right, working on a case. So in our society, we have a very wood dominant, it's very accepted. But on the other hand, what that means is that some people who are not very woody, who do not have strong wood elements, say, you know, somebody who has a strong wood element may have very strong, thick eyebrows and strong jaws. You'll see it strengthen in the bony structures of the face and the features, right? And the tight muscles. If somebody is, you know, a lot of, and you see this in women a lot too, especially the fitness industry, crazy. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are trying to be wood when that's not their primary element type. That's not like their constitutional type. And what happens is that if you're a wood person, you can do that. You can push, you can keep going, you can work out 7 days a week and you have the stamina, the energy to do it. But if you're born not having that energy, that life force already, and your strengths are in one of the other elements in other ways, it means that if you try to keep up and you try to fit yourself into that wood type element too much, you can burn yourself out. You can have adrenal fatigue, you can be overwhelmed, you can burn yourself out. And I just wanted to give you some examples here about just society, because I think this is an issue that should be talked about. And I'm probably gonna do a podcast on this too, but all right. This in particular, okay, this is my mom's magazine. I take them from her because I like to read them just for the heck of it. But okay, this one, drop 24 pounds in 7 days. This is what society is marketing, or what marketers are, you know, putting out there in magazines for women in particular. And these women want to all look like, and this is my book. This is a really good book, by the way. So, you know, nothing against it. I like this book. So, you know, women are trying to look like this and men are trying to look like this. And this guy's a little muscular. Maybe if he was skinnier, it'd be more of a wood element. But, you know, really skinny, low body fat, and, you know, secrets of the leanest people in the world. Well, your element type, you may not be prone, or it may not be in your destiny to look like skinny mini, you know? So you have to, this is where the 5 elements can be really helpful in discovering where your strengths are, what elements are your constitutional elements, which you're born with, because it's gonna tell you a lot moving through life. So that is kind of the look, what I just showed you, of the wood element and what society is accepting as like, just, you know, acceptable in society pretty much. But it causes people to get burnout and to be malnourished and just not be healthy. If you're a wood person, you can do that because you have the energy behind you, that push, okay? Like something sprouting out from the ground, the tree roots coming up from the tree. So it's just something I wanted to make you aware of, and how it fits, how this ancient wisdom fits into the modern world. Okay, this drive for push and do and do and do and never rest. In society, we are all about doing and getting stuff done and moving forward, and we can't sit still. But we're never about rest and recharge, or at least we're not about that enough, okay, which is more like the earth element or the water element. And the wood element is all about time. It's all about time. They love time. They love to stick to strict schedules, routines, like I said, systems. It's like they're focused on a task to get it done and move on to the next thing, okay? Where like a water person is they're like anti-time. So these are just some things about this particular element that I hope you found helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm gonna do a series and, you know, a video on each element so you can see and you can kind of determine which one you think you might be and discover more about yourself. And, you know, it's about self-discovery, but also self-acceptance and accepting who we are and who we're predestined to be. And you know, being okay with that out in the world and not listening to anybody else or what society or TV and magazines are telling you who you should be. You know yourself the best out of anybody, and that's the most important thing because it's gonna allow you to live your life in balance. Okay, body, mind, and spirit in balance. That's the most important thing you can do for yourself. So I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe. I put out new videos every single week, and my new book is out. I'm going to put a link to that below. And I will see you on the next video. So have a good one. Peace.